Hey guys, welcome back to Nazoish Place and welcome to the first night edition of my channel. Today we are talking K-drama, we're talking food, we're talking cooking a bit. I'm gonna attempt it. So imagine you're a chef in 2025. You are traveling back home after winning a contest. You're very happy, someone spills coffee on you, you're not gonna let it get to you. You go to the washroom, you clean it up. You spill some on an old ancient recipe book. You read some words and suddenly you're in a completely different timeline and start working for a king. This is the exact plot of the ongoing drama Bon Appetit, Your Majesty, and I can't wait to share some of my thoughts on what's happening. I hope you enjoy it. Top chef who gets pulled in time during a solar eclipse. I mean, we've seen this before in the previous dramas like Lovely Runner and Scarlet Heart. Like they used some sort of a time, specifically a solar eclipse or a watch to time jump. And lately, I love the fantasy element in K-dramas. They always do justice. She ends up in Joseon. She ends up meeting King. He's literally running after her and hunting her down. It was funny and I'm very realistic too, because kings back in the day loved to hunt. They clash and but what gets his attention is somehow under weird circumstances he ends up being her prisoner, and then she, for being a chef, cooks food, and the very first thing she cooks is a bibimbap, my favorite soul food, my comfort food. She obviously doesn't have the main element to a bibimbap, which is the gochujang sauce, but she remembers that she had one or two left in her coat, and she actually traveled with it, and she adds it to the bibimbap. And of course, the king is hungry as well, and he tastes it. He tastes it, and something in him is moved. Like, I mean, he remembers his mom just by one bite, and he's completely moved. Yet there is some tension between them, but then that one specific moment helps him see her more than she is. So moving on the third and the fourth episode. So of course it catches the king's attention, and that's rare because he's known to be a tyrant in the land, and he's known to be very strict with his rules and everything. So everyone's like, who is this girl? You know, the king is getting. So somehow she ends up being his royal chef. He gets her to the palace, and somehow she gets that position after, of course, impressing him through her cooking. And it's not easy. Like back in the day, even a small move as getting a chef of your own choice is seen as threatening. The rivals in the palace that are jealous, especially the king's consort, Kang. Somehow she ends up in a big cooking challenge between the palace, the previous chefs of the palace, and her. And this time, though the king is enraged, he can't say no to his grandmother who challenged the royal chef, and she of course accepts it because she has to prove her worth to survive and get back to her own town. And somehow she ends up making a dish that impresses the grandmother and moves something in her as well, like triggers a memory from her childhood with her mom as well. And that's when even the grandmother goes like, oh, this girl has stuff, you know, I'm not gonna say anything anymore, let's accept the fact that she's now the royal chef of the king. But the consort, that girl, she's got problems. She's got problems and she creates problems. So the relationship between the king and the royal chef, Yi-jung and Yi-hun, is sweet and simple at first, but then slowly gets complicated as there are more people and characters getting involved. And sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's cold. Somehow, again, my girl is fighting to survive there. Somehow she ends up in another cooking contest, but this time she represents the whole of Joseon. Like, she literally represents Joseon cuisine. So she's now representing the whole of Korea against another nation and competing in cooking dishes that are literally out of the world. And she somehow makes it out by making dishes that don't even exist in that timeline. She's an expert in French cuisine, and that's how she survives and keeps impressing the king. Now that the food has been tied up to politics, nation against nation, and my girl Ji-young has to survive, so she comes up with an idea for a pressure cooker. And this is the episode where I loved the food they introduced here. This is Korean food that's had usually during the rain. It's a Korean pancake. but a savory kind with green onions, and she makes it to lure in the inventor. So in that era, pressure cookers don't exist. She has to literally find someone who can make this, lure him into thinking it's a good idea, and of course, like, earn his trust. So she picks this recipe, the green onion pancake, Pajeon recipe, to remind him of his home, which is back in Busan. So this is a version of a green onion pancake that's made specifically in the Busan region. So it has the layer of green onion with I think some seafood, and the way it was made, I was salivating. And I love the rainy season, so it was a rainy scene where the reason Koreans make pancakes is because the Pajeon sizzling sound resembles the the rain that falls down. It has the same ASMR or the same sound. So that's why it's had during specifically the rainy season. So she lures him in with the fragrance of the dish. She asks all the people around her, like even including the king, to fan the fumes towards the house of the inventor so he can come out and savor it. Of course, he loves the dish. She cooks so well. He loves the dish, and he agrees to invent the pressure cooker for her, which will help her now win the cooking contest back home. Things get intense. She gets attacked by a couple of assassins who are after her, who are actually sent by the other nation, I think, to harm her, and then the king ends up saving her, and she has to now get back to the palace in time for the contest to start. And there are a lot of tensions here, but it gets really interesting. So I was watching the pancake recipe. Yeah, I need to make this right now. Let's go.
나 파전. 일렬로 줄 세워서 바짝 익히는 게 먼저예요. 자. 부치질 아주.
Yes, I made this at midnight. This is how it looks. I love it so much. I mean, let's do a taste test right here. I'm not sure if I'll be transported to a whole new world where, I see green onions walking around me, but I'm pretty sure I did a decent job. If not, like, Ji-young, please do give me some credit. So here goes. I tried my best to give you that overreaction here, but this is genuinely so good. I really thought the onions would be undercooked, but oh my god, these are amazing. And I love the egg addition. I'm a big fan of egg myself. This one's so good and so crispy. Definitely try this out. And it's so simple, just 3 ingredients. So this is where we are at with the episode 8, making the first dish, and there are some missing ingredients, and suddenly somehow those ingredients end up in the opposite team's recipe, and there's tension there as to who stole whose, but makes you want to watch. Like, I'm not someone who watches like old historic dramas, but if you give me a very thrilling plot like this, take my money. I mean, the king, the casting, oh my gosh, they did a very good job. Despite the tension, the king then sees the chef as so much more. And I think he falls for her too, which is so cute. Like, they don't have enough cute scenes, so then honestly they should keep more. Because what the hell, like, why are we being deprived of the cute scenes? I mean, I love the food scenes, don't get me wrong, I am loving it so far. But if you're gonna say that's a rom-com, where's the rom when it's only com? And as a food, comedy, and palace drama. Honestly, it's a comfortable watch. It always makes me hungry. Next up, if you're interested, I can also do a reaction to the episode 9, which has just come out, and I haven't seen it yet. But if enough people want me to react, let me know. I shall do that next. Stay tuned for that. And if you're watching along, what is your most favorite food scene? I am looking for foodies who K-food enthusiasts who are into this for the food, as I am. let's talk, besties, in the comment section. Let's go. Thank you so much for watching till here, and I hope you had a fun time watching my thoughts and my review of the drama Onion Pancake, Your Majesty. I hope it really ends well, because there are some rumors that it might end very well. So let's hope it ends really good. And thank you so much for watching again. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Bye.